Over the past 2 weeks, we've been rapidly building our minimum viable product for a big issue in the research field. An estimated $1.2 billion per year is being spent on grant applications across the US every year. With recent developments in AI, we are testing the hypothesis that a lot of this can be automated with some high quality inputs up front. These inputs would be a high level research description of 1 to 2 pages, some scientific figures, images of charts, diagrams, things that support the research, and then a 30 to 60-minute chalk talk where researchers can describe in free form the type of research that they intend to conduct. So now let me log in so I can walk through the process. As soon as you log in, you land on your research projects page. So we'll create a new one. And once you land on your project page, you're shown 3 inputs that you need to fill out in order for the rest of this to generate in the steps for creating your grant application. So the first one I'm going to start with is Chalk Talk, as this one requires the most processing. Let me find a video. So you can use multiple video formats, or you can just go direct to MP3, but in the end, all of these will be converted to MP3 so that they can then be transcribed. And then we can chunk all of the different pieces of it and use OpenAI's embedding model so that we can use search that is a lot more effective than simple text matching. This allows us to do searches by semantic meaning. And as we're filling out different parts, we'll be able to pull in the relevant context as we make requests to large language models to generate parts of the application. So first, it's just converting to MP3. And then as soon as that's done, we'll be able to upload it. And perfect. So now it's uploaded, and in the background, it's going to be doing some of that more heavy processing. So now I will move to the next one. I'll do scientific figures. And for now, I'm just going to keep it simple with a diagram. And what this will do is it will send off a request to an image model, and it will describe the details of it so that when we need to reference this later, we'll actually have a text representation of that, and we'll be able to insert that context into relevant places as we're generating things. So let me upload that. All right, that one's uploaded. And let me do the research description now. All right, that one's uploaded. So as you can see here, it tracks your progress as you check off each one of these. So now we are able to look at different funding opportunities that might be relevant. So currently, just finding funding opportunities is one of the big issues that researchers face because these are posted in very large documents or HTML pages that are unstructured and don't have quick answers as to some of the relevant details that they'll need to know if they're eligible or if it's one worth pursuing. So what we've done is we've scraped the funding opportunities from the NIH and the NSF, which are the two agencies that we're currently supporting. And we feed the content of that to a large language model, which returns to us a structured data format that has the details of eligibility. So you can filter by agency. You could filter by deadline. So let's see, this one at the top should disappear if I go just beyond it. Or no, actually, no, it's ones that are within that range. So it did correctly find that one. And then we could do award amount. So if I go above 600,000, to rule that one out. Perfect. And you can do ones that have human trials. you have user eligibility, you have organization eligibility, and that will filter those results. And then another piece that is pretty valuable here is that we've also included search here so that we can um, run this against the research or the funding opportunity descriptions and find ones that are similar that aren't simple filters. So the one that we were going to connect to these inputs was an infrastructure one. Yes. So once you click here, you're led to the page with all of the specific details of this one, and it's got the word floor, ceiling, expected awards, whether letters of intent and preliminary proposal are required, high level description, the eligibility, submission requirements, and additional instructions. So you can also click here to see the original. You can ask questions about the funding opportunity. Oh, and there's just a slight text issue here, but you'll get a response with all of the details of this. And let me go back to the funding opportunity. So once you've decided that this is a good match for your funding opportunity or for your research description, you'll go here to select opportunity and we will confirm. And then this is going to generate all of the relevant documents to the requirements from the funding opportunity. And also based on the funding opportunity and the research information that we have, we are able to recommend some equipment that would be relevant. So you can go through here and plan that out as you're looking into the budget that you're going to create later. So now let me go to attachments. So here we've compiled the full list of everything that's going to be required. Um, we do not have an exhaustive list just yet, but these are the documents that we've currently added to our database. So the major one is the project description. This is definitely the longest document that's going to need to be filled out. So if we click on view details, it will begin generating this. And this one is involving a lot of processing. So it can take about 30 to 60 seconds to fully generate. So it'll just take a moment for that. And what's going on behind the scenes is one of the limitations of large language models is they can be a little bit lazy. So what we've done is we first do one pass to create an outline with headers and descriptions of what the end structure will be. And then we split off several requests based on each of those sections and then combine them all at the end to get the length that we need for this type of document. And it should be done relatively soon. Perfect. There we go. So as you can see here, it generated all of this based on our input data and the funding opportunity. And so we'll go ahead and save this. And you can go in here and you can edit things. And I forgot the period there, so it should notice that we did not save. Perfect. And then we can also export once we're ready and we feel like this is what we're ready to submit. You can generate a PDF, download it, and it already takes into consideration the formatting requirements required by this agency. And so we can see all that generated here, and that is ready to submit. Let me save. And then We took another approach for documents that are much shorter and require some additional questions that can't simply be covered by the input data. So data management and sharing plan. For now, I'm just going to put in test answers just to show the flow of how this will work. And what we're going to do at the end of this is we are going to feed these questions and answers along with the input data and use that to generate a more fine-tuned generation step here. And we also have a custom prompt. So let me save that. And this will start generating, but there's not as much processing in this one, so it won't take quite as long. All right, save that. And you can see here, we've got all the details from the input data. So then let me go back to attachments. And currently we are not able to support some of the application forms as they are using a deprecated software, Adobe Lifecycle Design. We're currently working on a process to get these filled out. And the idea here will be that we will read the applications, pull out the fields, give those in a questionnaire similar to what I just showed in the data management sharing plan, and then feed those back into the application. And then those will be filled out. And the first time, there's not going to be a lot of cost savings, but especially as you consider that research projects can apply to multiple funding opportunities and over time as well. Once we have that information collected, we will not need to prompt the user each time to fill it out, and there will be significant time savings there. So for now, the researcher will go through and check things off as they're done so that they can track their progress. And once they know that they've got all of these items ready to go, they are ready to submit. And I will just quickly show a couple more things. So documents all require specific processing. AI has gotten advanced, but it is definitely not at the level of generalized generations. You need to apply some context. So what we've done here is this was the data management one. So you can create documents that have specific processing. So these were the questions that we created, and it's got the type of fields. We've got the name, the agency. You can specify specific grant types that it applies to, and we will match these once they create or select their funding opportunity. And then we've got sources here. And then we've also got optional documents here, which is the pool of documents that depend on your specific situation. And the idea with those is that when we extract information from the funding opportunity, we'll pull a list of all of the documents that there are, and we'll combine that with information about the researcher, which you can see on the profile page. It's got IDs and institutions, and combine that with the organization that they are attached to. So we've got some of them right here. And we will decide which of those optional documents actually apply and match those with an LLM. And then we've got a custom generation prompt here and page limits so that we can do more fine-grained generations. It's important to give AI guardrails on all of this because the quality will really suffer if with the less context that you give it. And then the last field is a custom processor here. This is where we've completely designed a custom flow in the code base because there is a lot of detail and steps involved. For instance, the project description, which is very long. So that is how we've approached documents. And then for grants, we built a CSV that can take the exports from the NSF and the NIH and run through them I actually got the file. Let me pull that up. Is that the right one? Yeah, that's the right one. So it's actually testing columns to ensure that we're always processing the same data. And I uploaded one that was slightly different, but it will go through those and process them and then give us the format that we need to then put them in a processing queue where we will go out and, as I described earlier, it will pull all of the funding opportunity information and give us structured data. And let's see, we will just go ahead and go back to our project. And once you have all the checks, you are done and you are ready to submit. Thank you for watching.